All right, I am really struggling a lot with my digestion. This morning I just had an apple and cottage cheese. Not the tastiest. I made sure to peel that apple because in the past I've had problems with peelings. But after eating that apple, I got a ton of gas. And that happens every meal with everything I eat, especially while sitting as I eat. I'll eat and just for some reason tons of air gets like swallowed somehow, and I gotta force it out. It can get trapped, which stretches. I think that trapped air might have been the cause of the progression of this problem getting worse. But I get that air and it gets trapped sometimes and takes some times. I'd try to work it out by doing this. I'd notice there'd be some relief, so there's some kind of a need for movement to release that trapped air. It's a mechanical trapping. And also, I've been getting that tightness feeling in the esophagus. That's been going on for years and years, since my early 30s, but it's been progressively getting worse. And I just keep trying different things. Early on, I heard about the stomach stretching, where you pull your stomach down, and I think it's best to do while standing. Possibly laying down. Sitting doesn't do it justice, especially sitting the way I do with my feet raised in a low seat. But just pushing down on the stomach I thought was bringing relief, but it doesn't enough. It brings just minor relief. But I mean, it feels like it's necessary still to stretch the stomach down. But recently I've realized that that's only half the activity that you're supposed to do within that within the practice, within the session, because as my burping's been getting worse, I notice that when I suck in, and I don't know if it shows in my neck, but I suck in, tightening my esophagus. I've been doing that for less than a week as like a matter of exercise. It's kind of like you can achieve that by just restricting your breath in. So you're restricting your breathing with that. And I can just suck in without having to. But if I forget how to do it, because it's kind of a complicated exercise to perform, something I never really did. Usually I'm trying to force air out, like, but I think that dilates, and I need to turn around and tighten things up. So restricting breathing in might be something I need to practice more. I'm not sure. It's something to complement the blowout. And I've been doing it for less than a week. Yeah, I've been getting sick before this. Okay, the water has bad water has a tendency to make me sick. A lot of things are making me sick more often. So I blame the bad water, but it's also my vulnerabilities too. I'm more vulnerable in the digestive system. Like if I caught a stomach flu, I think that's it. I think I'd be dead. I'm weak in the digestion already, and a stomach flu just makes things even worse. And I think that would be game over for me, the way things are progressing. But I'm trying to do more of an exercise to tighten this esophagus up, and I've noticed progression now with the sucking in, because when I would get the tightness feeling, that very discomfort in the esophagus, I'd turn to black pepper for relief, mustard for relief, sometimes even garlic. I'd take these harsh herbs that are digestive herbs to try to get some relief, which it does bring. Black pepper brings some relief. Okay. But I don't know if it's the ultimate solution. I don't think my problem is a lack of black pepper in my diet. I think it's mechanical. I've noticed as I've gotten older, certain muscles that I don't work enough have gotten weaker. Without exercise, they just get weaker. And that's across my whole body. Anything that I'm not exercising is just going to get really weak. And I think that, my inability often to take deep breaths is a part of the whole process here. The diaphragm, the stomach, the stomach protruding through the diaphragm. There's a weakness going on, and there's a imbalance possibly in the strength. I don't know. I'm still just trying to adjust how I'm doing things. It's hard to adjust the living in the car thing, because I'm kind of stuck like this, living in this type of way. A lot of sitting, eating while sitting with my feet sort of raised up on a low seat. But I'm trying to reverse that damage as best I can, and I'm noticing the sucking has been taking away the tightness in my esophagus. That tightness feeling, that discomfort, we're taking away my need to have black pepper. Okay, but now it seems to be redirecting that tightness into a real stomach sickness, where I'm just feeling sick now. After everything I eat, I can tighten the esophagus, especially when it gets that tight feeling. It's a controllable muscle in this region. Like if you're drowning underwater, you can't breathe in that water, so you're just kind of like underwater. And I hold that for a while. I have to breathe every so often. But I've been doing that, and the Hiatal, not a heartburn, just a tightness. I've had heartburn, and that's worse. The tightness reduces. So I blowing, I think, opens it up, and sucking tightens it up. And it seems like I'm now transferring that tightness feeling a little bit deeper into my stomach, and now I get sick more often. I'll feel sickness, like I just can't eat, I can't move. I kind of feel like maybe I should be puking, but I can't. So something has changed with the exercise. And I just realized just a few days ago, so this is all new to me, that now I get more relief for the stomach pull if I suck. But it works better while standing. Because it actually feels like when I suck, I'm pulling up and then I'm pulling down on my stomach with my hands. I still get sick. I don't feel sick at the moment. I get sick after I eat something. I start burping a lot and then I feel sick. But it feels like I've been doing the stomach pull in an incomplete fashion. Only half the exercise. It's like only doing half a rep for biceps. I was only doing half the exercise. Even a chiropractor who did the stomach pull, I mean, he did it strongly enough, but he didn't mention anything about sucking up as it's happening. Nobody mentions the sucking because it's so complicated. But when I do that, I feel more of a stretch, more of a tightening in there. Now, will that progress me into a better state of health? I don't know. Exercise is definitely good. I want to say also, my upper back is a problem, once again, being seated here in the car a lot, over a computer, over bicycling. I get a rounded upper back, and as I do this, like the first time I do it for the day or something, or if it's been a few hours, I'll sometimes feel a cracking in my upper back. So what I'm doing, and that's why standing up is most ideal. Sitting up, standing up or something. Sitting up, better than this. This just makes it impossible. Yep, there's a pop. But when I suck, I feel like the upper back pulling forward, and if it's popping, I'm doing something. I'm pulling the upper back forward, straightening it out by sucking, and then also in turn pulling the stomach down. Will that bring relief? I think ultimately the best sign of if this could be progressing in a positive way is when I can take deep breaths whenever. All right, and yeah, my deep breaths are a little struggled. I think running may help, but I don't always have opportunities. It's raining right now. I'm in a Walmart parking lot. You don't just jump out of the car and go running in the rain in the Walmart parking lot. So I'm limited with that. But I'm practicing this. This is early. I feel like this whole time, and nobody knows this. Nobody says anything about this. But I feel like I've been missing a step in the stomach stretching. It's so, the mainstream doctors don't want to mention it. They don't, it doesn't help their business talking about the stomach stretch. It doesn't help the chiropractor. It doesn't help anybody. It doesn't help anybody except for yourself as an individual. But I'm thinking, pulling down on the stomach, sucking, because if I tried blowing, that's a little different. Both. Sometimes you could probably do too much sucking. See, when I blow though, when I push air out, I feel it tightening up in the stomach. I'm just now realizing this is all new to me. I've been suffering a long time, but yeah, when I suck in, it gets soft here, and when I try to blow out, it gets tight. So it doesn't make any sense to even try to do a stomach stretch as you're blowing out, because it tightens up. You got to fight that tightness. But when you suck in, it's totally relaxed. So I think that's the missing link for the stomach stretch. But I have to see if I progress. My progression is no longer getting tightness in the esophagus, and when I do, I suck to relieve that. But now it's turned into a stomach sickness, which is an awful feeling. Can I work through that stomach sickness? That's all I want to know. Is that possible?